Yeah, go for
Oh, I'm already starting, baby.
Wait, whoa. Hey, you're picking. Hey, you're picking the spread. We don't need that. We just need the winner.
Oh, I mean,
it. Yeah,
I'm going all fine.
I think he was just copy and pasting. So.
That's a lazy man's game. Type IND.
I know. I was typing. Get out of here.
All right. So our first game is this Thursday's game. Got the Jets at the Colts. Colts coming off a bad loss to the Titans in overtime. Carson Wentz terrible. Looked awful. Throwing bad
Makes
picks.
sense that he's terrible, though.
I mean, yeah. He also has two bad feet that are maybe healed, maybe not healed. Jets coming off a massive win over Cincy.
A big upset over Cincinnati. Well, I
Massive,
mean, not a huge
massive.
upset, but like big win.
There might be a quarterback controversy there because Zach Wilson terrible
Yeah.
and
Who's Mike White?
Mike White good. Apparently, the first quarterback since Cam Newton to throw for 400 yards in his first start. So clearly the future for the Jets there.
That's crazy.
With that said, Indy still massive home favorites at 10.5. Over under of 45.5. So
Was he? Was that quarterback? Was he expected to play,
Mike White?
or was that? Yeah, was Mike White like? Was that like in the books? Like, oh, he's going to be playing this week, or was that just like a? I don't
like
remember
I
what the
think he was
situation was.
slated to start because of Zach Wilson's injury, and Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
Joe
gonna say like maybe like more credit to him for being good, but less credit because like Cincinnati probably just like wasn't expecting it. Like they don't know.
there's no film on
I
him or
assume.
anything, so there's not
Yeah,
like you can't prepare. You see that happen
yeah,
with rookie quarterbacks, like mid-season rookie quarterbacks occasionally, where uh, there's no film, so they surprise in quotes surprise the other team, even if they're not like superior talents.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I said it 3 weeks ago. Since he's not that good,
I was just
No,
about to say, yeah, I think you said since he is what, like a fake, a fraud.
they're not frauds. They're okay. I think their defense is overachieved. I think they have a really good offense, but I mean,
but they kind of fall in line with Carolina. Like
you just
Carolina's in that same boat now.
you just let Mike White throw for 400 on you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, uh,
I think it's
hi
they walked in
Blimpo,
there thinking they were good, and then you know we got this. They're the Jets. We're gonna win this game, and then they
and
didn't.
that's true because they do play Cleveland this week in a divisional game, so it's a classic trap game where
Yeah,
We'll talk about that
they're
when we
look.
get to
Yeah,
that
we
game.
will talk about that. Yeah, Rad. If it wasn't for Chase, they wouldn't be that good. That is true. That all that man does is catch touchdowns.
Dude, and
love
So
I
Chase.
drafted him in the what was it, our best ball, I think.
yeah,
And you were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I think he like I have a
I
feeling
I'll take the L for that. I was scared off of him in
because of being off a
preseason.
year."
Being off a year, couldn't catch anything, including a cold in the preseason. And I just didn't want to spend the draft capital to draft him. It just wasn't what I was looking for. But clearly I was wrong on that, and I should have drafted him everywhere. So it looks like you guys already put your picks in. Indy. I am going to also follow suit. And
I'll wait next time. I
that
apologize.
is an indie pick for sure. I don't foresee the Jets on the road going in there and doing anything.
No,
All
not
right.
at all.
Also, it's a
It's a
terrible
terrible game.
Thursday game.
Terrible matchup.
Like terrible. All right. Next game we've got Houston in Miami. Miami 6.5 point favorites. Over under 46. I thought about highlighting that one for an underplay just as a side note. I don't know. I mean, Tua looked better, but he didn't look great.
Yeah,
Houston though is god awful. They
not
This
are
is
looking
the
good at all.
game
yeah.
Houston wins.
No,
Like
no.
Davis Mills comes out and just
I mean, Tyrod might play this week, so like
okay.
maybe um Houston take getting the points depending on what the line moves to Sunday might be like if it moves over 7, like if you get 7.5, I think Houston becomes an interesting play to cover or to get the
Yeah,
points rather. but I don't know if they go into Miami and win. I mean, they still don't have a lot of talent, even if Tyrod comes back. I mean, it's just the Brandon Cooks show. So, and Miami didn't move Xavier Howard at the deadline, so I'm sure he'll shadow Cooks, and then it's up to Tyrod / Davis Mills and anybody else to beat you.
I just feel like this might be Houston's best chance at winning a game this season.
They've been more competitive in some games than I thought they would be. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't foresee them being able to win. I mean, Devontae Parker looked good last week. He's healthy. Myles Gaskin, as up and down as he's been this year, should be able to run on them, and they should be able to control the clock. So my pick is for Miami.
I'm feeling the same.
Oh, with that upset.
Bryce is feeling the upset?
Bryce is feeling the upset. Apparently cannot type.
I can't type MIA.
Or HOU.
Or sorry, HOU. Can't find that.
Did your keyboard break? It's next to the home keys, next to the J. That's where you start.
I typed it in. Is it not showing up on your thing yet?
No, not yet. There it goes. There it goes.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what happened. This is an easy pick. I think the next game. I think Denver has been. Well, they started 3-0, and they didn't play on.
Yeah, they had a really easy schedule though.
Like,
but Teddy Bridgewater is terrible.
Yeah,
he is so bad. I don't know how he fleeced teams to give him that much money. But
I mean, he looked fine with Carolina last year. They didn't win a ton of games, but also they lost McCaffrey. So he's just a game manager. And I mean, that's why Dallas is getting 9.5, I think. Dak should be back. They're at home. Yeah, they're at home. Denver can't score, at least not enough, I don't think, to keep up. That's why I highlighted this as an underplay for me personally. I think that Dallas will get up 14-21 and just be able to run. And I don't think Denver is explosive enough to keep up with that. So, I wish they would have traded Melvin Gordon at the deadline so that my Javonte Williams shares would be more valuable that I've got, but they did not do that unless something comes through. I think the deadline already hit though. So,
it did.
It did.
So unfortunately they are in a timeshare until one of them gets hurt or Vic Fangio decides that he wants to win games and plays Javonte in like a 60-40 split. So, I don't think that. And Denver
You just
moved.
not like Melvin Gordon or what?
He's fine, but he's at the back end of his career. Like Javante's got juice in his legs, and Melvin Gordon falls into the end zone occasionally. So he's got like fantasy value. I don't think he gives them the best chance to win real football games.
Yeah. He'd be better off on like a team that's trying to win, I think.
Yeah. And Denver moved on from Von Miller. So I think Dallas at home just has way more firepower, probably a healthy Dak. So I will be taking the Cowboys. It sucks to pick the Cowboys, but Dallas is doing things, Blimpo. They are.
I'm actually more like, I used to hate Dallas, but I've always been a Dak fan. So like I'm rooting for him for the most part.
So obviously I'm a Giants fan for anybody watching who doesn't know that. Fantasy has somewhat ruined my fandom. We can go on a little side tangent while we wait for Pikadilyy to get back, but fantasy has somewhat ruined my fandom. Oh, he's back. Okay. We were just waiting for you to make your pick. Okay, Dallas.
No, right. I had it. I just didn't click off the thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, so fantasy's ruined my fandom a little bit. More than a little bit, because the Giants have been bad for a long time. So fantasy like gives me an excuse to root for Dak without feeling bad, right? Like, because I probably have him in fantasy in some capacity, or a piece of Dallas, or a piece of anybody within the division. And fantasy allows me to not feel bad for rooting for them. I can still root for them to lose in just massive shootouts, though. So
I will be right back.
Okay, all right.
I think I would feel the same way, but the Bears' offense has been so bad for so long, even before Nagy. Like, it was always like, I mean, we had like a couple years that we were just like, oh, we're actually a decent, offense. But man, like there's no one to like. A-Rob is good, but like not he doesn't get the ball. Like, our offense is so bad. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they were good the first year of Mitch, and
Well, up until I think week 12, and then up to 2018, and then all of a sudden they couldn't score.
But if you go back and actually like break down that year, the reason that Mitch was so good is because the defense turned the ball over like 36 times that year. So their average starting field position was unbelievably good. He's playing with a short field like 80% of the time. That's obviously an exaggeration, but Mitch was playing with a short field, so of course he's going to look good. You're putting so much pressure on defenses because your defense continues to turn the ball over.
Exactly.
And then the next year, the defense regressed, as most of the time defenses do after having record-setting years. And Mitch fast forward to now, has ran out of town. And now you have Fields, and the offense should be better. And they finally look good when Nagy isn't even in the building, because he's.
And then guess what happens? Your defense falls apart, doesn't show up.
Yeah, right.
I'm back for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Emily's food, because we had to order more food.
Okay.
We completely forgot Emily's meal.
Yeah, Blimpo. If Dallas gets Tampa in the playoffs, they lose. But I think I don't know if they're the second best team. I still think Arizona's better than them.
I think you were missing a team. I think LA. I think the Rams. I think the Rams can compete with those two teams.
I think they can too. I think the Von Miller move, I don't know how much juice he's got left in the tank, but I think having Aaron Donald taking up double teams and giving him one-on-ones for the pass rush, I think you'll see him have a little resurgence in his career. All right, let's try to get through a couple before Pikadily's got to go grab food again.
Well, we're going to get through none of them because I got to go.
Oh, okay.
McDonald's is very close.
Oh, okay. Are you going literally now? Yes, he is. Okay, he muted. Man, this is off to a wonderful start for the first time doing this.
Well, oops, I picked. Did I?
I can't see it yet because you haven't left the cell.
Yeah, I haven't.
I like that. It's a little suspense. I don't know what you're picking.
I think you know who I picked. I picked the better uniforms. Let's just say that.
The better purple?
Yes.
So Minnesota.
I think you are disgusting.
They have a horn.
I don't care. The purple for Baltimore is like the best kind of purple.
That dark purple? You don't like that like lighter purple?
No. I do like Minnesota's like matte helmets, but I don't that purple, not really.
Yeah, that's fair. Not enough blue in that purple.
But Baltimore's all black uniforms are sick.
That is true. I think any of the teams that do that, the Saints, them, who do like the one color, specifically black pants with the black jersey, always ends up looking good.
Yeah.
Or you go the other way, the Chargers powder blues are just so good.
I love when they wear the like white and the yellow pants.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those are oh my god. I think it's because like nobody in the NFL has like yellow pants, and it just pops.
Yeah, I wish that the Giants would always wear the gray bottoms, the gray with the red stripe, because you could wear it with the blue or the white and red numbers. But they don't. They usually wear white bottoms. So, Oiler blue, best blue. Warren Moon. I mean, isn't Oiler blue just Titan blue now? I don't think they changed the blue.
Yeah.
They do have darker blue now in their jerseys more so than the Oilers did, but I'm pretty sure you should just become a Titans fan, Blimpo. And then you can wear all the Oiler blue.
That's disgusting.
You can get a Warren Moon jersey. And that's the only Oiler I can name off the top of my head because I was too young to really remember the Oilers.
Eddie George? I don't know. If
Oh yeah, Eddie George. That was end and then into
Oilers,
and then into the Titans. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to make these picks?
Yeah.
All right. Minnesota visiting Baltimore. Baltimore coming off the bye. They're getting 6 at home. Decent number for the over-under, probably where it should be. Baltimore throwing more than they have last year and the years prior. Got Rashad Bateman back 2 weeks ago. He looks pretty good. Hollywood Brown finally looks like he's taken the next step. Justin Jefferson got dinged up at the end of Minnesota's last game. He's got a knee injury. He should be good, but you never know what's going to happen with injuries like that and if they pop up during the game. Adam Thielen is old and somehow still catching touchdowns. I don't know what's going on there. And Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a freak of nature when healthy, but had a down-ish game. He still rushed for 78 yards last game, but no touchdowns. Wasn't involved in the passing game at all. So, have you guys seen the bones or no bones TikTok?
Yeah.
It's a bones day or no bones day. I feel like you can also do that with good Kirk Cousins and bad Kirk Cousins.
Oh, for sure.
If it's a good Kirk Cousins Sunday, the following week gonna be great. If it's a bad Kirk Cousins Sunday, that's a no bones day. So I am going to stick with my trend of home teams and go with the Ravens. And I see we are all in lockstep with that as well.
Baltimore runs all over Minnesota.
Oh, no doubt.
All right.
But, all right. Little side session here. I just wanted to point out for the viewers in Pikadilly's chat and Rain's chat, they are both wearing the same hoodie.
Are we?
Yep.
So
yep.
They planned this for sure. 100%.
That we are. You're not even giving me a lurk. Oh, I lurk every time you stream, even when I'm streaming. That is.
That kills my internet. Oh, we are wearing. That kills my internet.
Well, get better internet.
I need to make the highest quality streams for my 6 viewers. All right.
Only if I was streaming, I should put mine on.
Yeah, we could all wear the same. All right. So actually, what I'd be interested in, are you looking at your picks, Pikadilly, as you do this?
Yeah, so I've actually already made mine here.
Yeah, because I was wondering if you weren't looking at that, if you would end up picking anything different after we have the conversations about each game.
That'd be funny.
And then I think that means you're a sociopath if you don't pick the same thing twice.
I think I would end up doing that on accident anyway, because I've literally been staring at this all day while I was at work and going through a bunch of fucking articles and shit to make sure.
Yeah.
that I was feeling the most confidence on all of these picks.
That's fair. All right. So New England visiting Carolina. This is our first road favorite of the week. Over under of 41, so not a lot of scoring expected from Vegas.
That's really low.
It is very low, and I think this is a potential overplay because New England might just hang 50 again on Carolina. Their defense is falling apart. Yeah. Sam Darnold turned back into a pumpkin after having a really good first 3-ish weeks of the season. Also got concussed. Not sure if he's playing. I haven't checked to see. He's got, I think, the rest of the week to clear concussion protocol.
Dude, getting concussed, if you're cloudy, even if he gets cleared, I couldn't imagine playing as a quarterback in the NFL and then having to read defenses when I'm not fully there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling, even with if McCaffrey comes back this week, I feel like New England still, like they're really rounding out
Yeah, I think they've
compared to how
been.
they were.
I think they've been a surprise this year. I think in typical Belichick form, he gets the most out of the guys that he's got, and
yeah.
defensively always shuts down the other team's best player. So if McCaffrey plays, he'll scheme for him and make whoever it is, either PJ Walker or Sam Darnold, beat him through the air. And I don't think that they can. So I will be selecting New England. I know we got a lot of favorites being selected here. Except for Bryce, the lone dissenter so far with that Houston-Miami game.
Look, I
mean, it's
we're
got
all the same, you know.
Yeah, it's not fun if we all agree on everything, right?
I also feel like this back half of game, or like the first half probably has a lot of favorites, but this back half is gonna have some changes.
Yeah.
All right. Buffalo at Jacksonville. Buffalo getting a lot of points, 14.5.
I mean, I feel like we don't even need to talk about this one.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is fucking Jacksonville, and Buffalo's probably the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, and
they looked a little slow to start though last week against Miami.
They're coming off the bye. Miami also kind of like Cincy last week, probably a trap game for Buffalo, even though it's not like they had to look ahead to Jacksonville. So potentially another trap game for Buffalo. So that is why I highlighted the under. Especially Jacksonville, probably no James Robinson this week, dealing with that foot injury that popped up early last week. So you got old man Carlos Hyde trying to do something, resurrect his career there. And Urban Meyer, if you played for Ohio State at any point in your career, he's going to give you touches. So that's probably why Carlos Hyde is just on the team, period.
You're probably right. Right.
I'm not bold enough to potentially pick trap game number 2 in a row for Buffalo, and they come out super flat. I think they win by a lot, but probably also shut down Jacksonville, which is kind of why I like the under there. All right, I think this is our first potential debatable game. Cleveland going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati getting 2.5. Over under of 47. Cincinnati coming off of a really bad loss to the Jets. Could be hungry to prove something. That division is really tight.
It's up for grabs right now.
Yep. And they did. Kevin Stefanski came out and said, though, that OBJ will not be with the team the rest of the year.
This is what I want to talk about. So is he kind of doing what Calvin Ridley did, where he's stepping away for maybe like mental health reasons, or is he just mad that he didn't get traded to somebody else?
There was some weird stuff where like OBJ's dad was posting on Instagram stories or something like that about.
I saw that, but I didn't see.
I didn't see that. What was it about?
Basically, saying that like Cleveland didn't do what they needed to do for Odell, and the problem is Baker, and like they have a terrible relationship, and like Baker's terrible, and all this stuff. It was.
Did he end up deleting those?
I didn't follow up on what it wasn't OBJ, it was his dad doing it. So
right.
Yo, what up, Zach? How are you? We're just doing our football pick'ems. We're trying some new stuff on stream. With that said, they don't need, like, it's crazy to say that they don't need Odell. Like they owe, like last year and the times this year where he's not in the lineup, they look better than
Peoples Jones is actually like looked to become an actual like NFL wide receiver. Like he looks like he can, be a 2 or even a 1.
Yeah, when he's not getting scratched after kickoff. I did. Is that your cat?
Right.
He was just in here with me and Emily. He just walks out of the room and screams like he's being stabbed. Like, I don't understand.
I'm good, Zach. I'm good. We're chilling. Yeah, if I wasn't getting ball, my dad would be lighting me up for not doing enough between games.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Like, and it's not like he hasn't gotten opportunities. He's been targeted, and he just hasn't caught the ball. And he came out like 2 weeks ago and said that he's been playing with a torn labrum for years and never got it fixed. Like,
Well,
there's just
that's his fault.
Like, you're a
you can make
receiver.
so much money.
You're a receiver. You have to lift your arms above your head sometimes. Like, why are you
Yeah.
not getting your labrum fixed? Like, and especially when you were out with a knee injury, just get both surgeries done at the same time. And you're already
That
out
just
for the
sounds-
year.
That just sounds like he's like screwing up his career. Like that just like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't get it.
weird. But Cleveland should have a healthy Nick Chubb coming back. I know he played last week, but it seemed like he was kind of on a snap count because D'Ernest Johnson was involved even around the goal line. But I think you get a healthy Nick Chubb. Baker's playing. You don't have the distraction of Odell. Cincy off the bad loss. I don't know where your guys' head's at. I'm picking Cleveland here to go into Cincy and get a win. I just think they're the better defense. I think it's a low scoring game. But I think Cleveland can control the clock enough to get a W.
So I think Cincinnati does what they basically did to Baltimore, and I think it's a bounce back game for them, especially after losing to the Jets like they did.
It's fair. That's fair. I could see this going either way. Vegas clearly sees this going either way, potentially with Cincinnati only getting 2.5, and that line could move.
I was leaning Cincy, but then you talked all that, and so it leaves me a little split. I think I'm going to stick with Cincy because I feel like Bryce is right. That coming off that bad loss, they're probably going to want to go on like a little revenge tour and be like, "That fucking sucked. Let's fix that."
Oh, what am I doing?
So I'm gonna stick with Cincy.
All right, I'll be the dissenter this time.
Yes, finally.
All right, Atlanta going to New Orleans. New Orleans getting 6. Over under of 41.5. I marked this one down as a potential over. I know New Orleans just lost Jameis, and it's probably Taysom Hill gonna start. I mean, Trevor Siemian looked okay in relief. And Atlanta, obviously Calvin Ridley is stepping away from football for his mental health reasons for this year, a couple games. Nobody really knows for now.
It's tough because you've got you got Winston out with the knee, but then you also have Taysom currently going through concussion protocols. So
that's 2 weeks now, though. So I think he'll probably clear before this game. I would assume he starts. I think New Orleans at home in the Dome. Atlanta's defense is terrible. It's really bad.
Oh, for sure. Terrible. Yeah. Is an understatement.
Cordero has been great. Kyle Pitts is basically a wide receiver in a tight end's body. It's not fair.
Dude, that dude, they're gonna be good.
But Alvin Kamara is just unstoppable, I think. And I think if Taysom starts, I think they'll probably have a decent game plan to not do what they did last year, where he basically like cannibalized all of Kamara's touches. So I think Sean Payton is smart enough to be able to beat Atlanta at home. So I am also going to take New Orleans in what's probably going to be a close game because it's a divisional rivalry game, but I still think New Orleans at home is the play here.
This next game scares me.
All right, Vegas.
Here's the thing:
at the Giants. Vegas.
The Giants
are
missing potentially a lot of people because apparently more than Saquon might have COVID. So
they had 13 positive tests. Yes, yesterday. 12 of those came back negative today, except for Saquon. So he's the only one potentially that won't play. Also, he's dealing with the knee, so the expectation was he was going to come back and play this week. But now with the knee and COVID, I don't know. They may just hold him out just to be safe again. Depends on if he's showing symptoms and if it was just, asymptomatic COVID test or if he's actually sick. But Vegas is not good. They're coming off their bye. They just lost Henry Ruggs or cut Henry Ruggs because he's a moron.
The Britons.
Yeah.
But getting 3 coming into New York looked very competitive against the Chiefs on Monday night. Tony should be healthy. Slayton should be healthy. Potential Saquon coming back. I am a homer a little bit, and I generally like to pick against the Giants so that I'm not disappointed. But I think at home, Vegas traveling, West Coast teams going east don't always do so great. I think I'm going to pick the Giants here.
I'm scared with Las Vegas just because they're so they're like world beaters, and then they're just like forget how to play football for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm gonna go with Las Vegas here, but I'm not confident about it at all.
Yeah, I just don't know where they get points from.
Yeah.
I think that's just like the charm of Vegas is that when you count them out, that's when they're going to win, right? So it's like all odds are not looking in their favor. So they're very clearly going to win this Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and because I picked the Giants are going to lose.
And because you, right.
Yeah. Because I picked my team, they are going to lose now.
Yeah.
All right, the Chargers going to Philly, getting 1.5 points, which is very surprising to me because Philly is not good. Even though
the Chargers have kind of slipped in recent weeks.
Yeah, they've slumped the last 2 weeks. Yep.
Yeah.
Over under of 50. I almost highlighted that one for an underplay. I think there's a little bit of recency bias with bettors after Philly just dropped 44, but it was on Detroit, and there was some defensive touchdowns in there. I think Justin Herbert is significantly better than Jared Goff, even though I think he popped up with a hand injury in practice today.
Yes.
You mean Jalen Hurts?
It's Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm talking about Philly turning the ball over against Justin Herbert versus turning over Jared Goff.
I gotcha. Oh yeah, well I mean Detroit. I mean what? Come on, Detroit is
a dumpster fire.
They might go 0-17 again. So.
I'm just very surprised at this line. I didn't look at it before today. I wonder if it moved with the news of Justin Herbert's hand injury. I think, though, I would expect him to go. I don't think it was that serious from what I read. But I think they have too many weapons between Eckler, Allen, Mike Williams, whichever tight end decides to come to play, if it's Parnham or Cook. Like, I just don't know if they can defend, if Philly can defend that. And Philly basically has Dallas Goedert because Devonta Smith Jalen Hurts can't get him the ball. So, I think I know we just talked about West Coast teams going east, but I think the Chargers actually cover that 1.5, and I don't think this game's very competitive.
Philly could have a bit of like an overconfidence.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, maybe the switch is like they finally flipped the switch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think LA bounces back after a couple bad weeks finally. So.
All right, we're all in agreement. All right.
This game.
This game.
This would be harder to pick if someone didn't tell the world.
If Rodgers wasn't rubbing crystals on his nipples to cure COVID.
Is that what? Oh man, does that work?
Dude, I don't know.
We should have been doing that 2 years ago.
Apparently.
So yeah, Green Bay going to KC. KC giving 7.5. KC has not looked good though.
Right.
No.
I think.
Here's the thing. Green Bay, obviously Rodgers is a big part of it, but like everybody else on Green Bay has been doing fantastic. My only issue is that like both Rodgers and the QB3, right? So it's Love possibly going in unless he also got it, which I don't assume he hasn't because he probably would have shown up positive today.
I just
But they're
don't
flying
have.
in Bortles.
Yeah.
They're
Even
flying in
if
Bortles
Jordan
as the
Love
backup.
starts
So
compared to Blake Bortles, like I don't have confidence in either of them.
The good old crystal nip rub. That's right, Rad. That's how you
So,
cure COVID.
I'm just gonna go with like I don't. There's no way Green Bay wins this game, and if they do, I'll take the L.
I think this game is more debatable than that because I think since the Super Bowl, teams have figured out that you just play two deep safeties against KC and you make Mahomes hold the ball and you basically either get a coverage sack or he continues to try to force it deep. And like the Tyreek's had a couple huge games, but Kelsey has been slumping. And I just think their offense has been figured out. I think Andy Reid may need to go back to the drawing board a little bit. And Mahomes hasn't slumped in his career, so we don't know how he bounces back. Like the dude just hasn't lost in the 3 years he's been a starter, basically.
Yeah, I just don't see like Aaron Rodgers has that. I don't know. I mean, he's always he's a good quarterback. He's probably one of the best to ever play. Even if he's stupid with getting crystal nips on his whatever, you know. Jordan Love though, like come on, like he's gonna throw, he's gonna lose, he's gonna fumble the ball, he's gonna throw 2 picks, and the same thing if Blake Bortles plays. Like Green Bay might win, but I just don't have any confidence without Rodgers in there.
I don't know. I feel the confidence around Green Bay's defense to continue just making Mahomes look like a fool.
I'm gonna pick KC. If I was just betting the games, if I was just betting the games and not like straight picking them like this, I would probably take just Green Bay to cover the 7.5 or to get the 7.5. I don't think KC covers the 7.5. Maybe this is the bounce back game for KC and they finally figure it out, and maybe they do turn over whoever the quarterback is a million times and just Mahomes gets to play with a short field, which is why I'm picking KC. But yeah, I think this game is actually going to be pretty entertaining. I think it'll be a fun late Sunday game.
Yeah, I mean, it's my 1-point game. Like I'm not putting any points on that because I just don't trust it. But I do feel like Green Bay's going to take it.
All right, let's get to Pikadily's homer game. We've gone through mine.
I'm telling you, Arizona. I'll let you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, pretty much everyone might be coming back, right? Wilson's returning. Mitchell didn't practice, but Kittle also possibly coming back. And then you've got AJ Green on the Cardinal side, COVID. Hopkins hasn't been healthy like at all the last 4 weeks. No idea how he's going to do with practices this week. If Jimmy's back, he played pretty well last week. I feel like this is a San Francisco game. I feel like they take this one.
Drizzle? Rebuttal?
I don't think San Francisco is very good. They are definitely better than the Bears. I'll give Derek that. But I
don't think they're good either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think Arizona is just top, in the top tier of the NFC. So I think they're gonna. They might fall flat on their face.
Well,
too,
that's why I'm also thinking this would be the game for San Fran to prove themselves to be look, we're back. Even though it's not going to do a whole lot, we're probably out of the play. It doesn't matter. It's
I do think it'll either go one or two ways. Arizona will show that they're good, or they'll fall flat on their face, and San Francisco will start making get back into
just the amount of injuries that Arizona's been racking up the last couple of weeks. Their players are getting tired.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that all things equal, both teams healthy, I think Arizona is a much bigger favorite. But they lost J.J. Watt last week and didn't look great on defense. Obviously, you've got Murray with some sort of leg injury, should be fine. Like Pikadilyy said, Hopkins is probably going to play, but is hurt. AJ Green's got COVID. It's in Arizona, or it's in San Fran. I I like or home divisional dogs in a lot of these spots, especially when Vegas is essentially making it a pick 'em by giving Arizona just 1 point. It hasn't been bet to a pick 'em yet, and I think this is also an overplay potentially too. I think San Fran's going to be able to move the ball. Debo is a little dinged up though, so we'll have to see
Yeah.
what comes out of
Debo!
that. But he has been unbelievable this year.
I mean, he passed what? He broke Jerry Rice's record.
Oh, I didn't see that. Did
I
he?
think he's literally just a couple yards short of being like having more yards than Cooper.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Leave each other alone.
So yeah, I think Jimmy, while Jimmy G's healthy, because there's an inevitable knee injury on the way for him.
Right.
And then you can fully start the Trey Lance era. But while he's healthy and San Fran is more healthy than Arizona right now, I think I'm also going to take the home divisional team in this one and not like it. I don't like the pick, but
I don't either. Like I would much rather be taking Arizona here. If we're coming to like betting purposes, right?
Yeah, that's how I felt with the Las Vegas game.
My other thing is Arizona.
That's also why they're also a low point for me. So
what is Cliff Kingsbury doing with Rondale Moore? Why is AJ Green, who is glitching out like a Madden receiver, blocking in the end zone on that pick last week, and like why is he playing like 80% of the snaps still? Like even with Hopkins getting hurt, why are you not scheming Rondale Moore in space to create?
It's kind of the same thing with like Melvin Gordon. I just think it's people or coaches like veteran players, and they think they can handle more or will do more for us.
Yeah, but like Arizona runs 3 wide sets a ton, and with Hopkins out, Rondale was on the field. Like I don't know. I just feel like you have to scheme him. You treat him like Debo. Get him on a nice little bubble screen and let him create. Like the dude is electric with the ball.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think Cliff Kingsbury maybe let that game get away from him a little bit from like coaching decision standpoint. But we'll see how he bounces back. But I think San Fran at home is the play for this one. Tennessee going to LA for our Sunday night game should be very interesting now that Tennessee has lost Derrick Henry for 6 to 10 weeks, unless just like he's a freak of nature on the field. Maybe he has like superhuman healing abilities. But he's done with a foot injury. They signed AP out of a grave somewhere, resurrected him in the Lazarus pit, and will probably handle the bulk of their early down carries. And you have McNichols handling probably the passing down work. So Julio can't stay healthy. It's basically going to probably be the AJ Brown show. LA's defense has been, it's great on paper, but has not been as good in real life. They've been beatable at times. But with that said, I don't know if Tennessee a week later can adjust their offense enough to handle life without Derrick Henry. So I will be taking the Rams here. I don't think we really need to talk about what the Rams can do offensively.
No.
I think this game would be a bit closer if Henry was playing, and I might even pick Tennessee to win it. Without him, I think they will try and throw the ball too much, and I don't think Tannehill can do it. I think he's regressed a bit this year.
Agreed.
So
I don't think he can keep up with the new God mode Stafford.
Stafford did pop up with a back injury. I saw, but I think he should be fine in the long run. But or at least play this weekend. But that's something to monitor. I don't honestly. I don't even know if it matters though. I just don't know if Tennessee can score enough. All right, our final game of the week. It's Drizzle's turn to be a homer.
This will be fun. Matt Nagy sucks. Let's be honest and clear at the start of this. He is terrible. Our offense looked better when he couldn't talk to them this past week, even though they still lost. But I have a feeling he's gonna put his mark on this game and just make it look terrible again, like they did against Cleveland and Tampa Bay. And I think we get
Yeah,
beat
Rad.
by
I picked him up
like
in a couple
2
spots
touchdowns.
too. I'm really rooting for him. You think they lose
Yeah, same way.
by 2 touchdowns?
I think, yeah. Oh,
Let me-
for sure.
I mean, I know Pittsburgh's defense is good, but let's run through what Vegas thinks. They say the over under is 40, right?
Yeah.
With
Oh,
Pittsburgh with Pittsburgh giving 6.5, that means your implied totals are 23-17 essentially. Like, you don't think the Bears can score 17? I mean, I guess it's the Bears and they haven't really scored much this year. But it's just such a low it's such a low NFL
Yeah.
score, right? Like,
yeah, 40, like 41, the 41 and a half, those are low. 40, that's insane. That doesn't happen in NFL standards with offenses this like how they are now.
yeah.
Like that, and that's what I mean. Like we're not good. You know, our offense is bad. I just don't I don't know. And I don't our defense might show up, they might not. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Pitt also. I just find the total and the spread kind of interesting.
yeah.
I guess Chicago's defense hasn't been great, and Pittsburgh's offensive line has been gelling. Najee's been really good the last couple games. And obviously you've got Deontay and Chase Claypool, who are just monsters, and Pat Freiermuth emerging as the second best rookie tight end to come out of the draft. Rad, you might bet the under in Bears Steelers. I don't know how much lower can you go. Like, if Pittsburgh puts up 24, you don't think the Bears can get to 16?
It really depends because man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because what have they shown to be able to score points? They haven't shown anything.
That's fair.
You know, and it just
That's fair.
I'm sure as an NFL team you should be able to score 20 points, but I don't know.
That's true.
I mean, like Fields is starting to look a little bit better as the games go on, but I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar has traditionally, as a running quarterback, done well against the Steelers.
Well, you say running quarterback, but they haven't played to Justin Fields' strengths.
Well, last week he kind of showed it.
They want him to drop back 7 and read the field with 5 protect and not being able to block anybody. Like that's not going to help him, and that's not going to work, especially with how mediocre this offense is.
Are you surprised they didn't move Allen Robinson at the deadline?
I'm surprised they didn't like get rid of Jimmy Graham, or like I'm surprised they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of Chicago beat writers and talk show hosts and just people in Chicago like saying if you have to get rid of Nagy, and at this point you might as well try to move Mack for whatever you can get for him. Move Robinson because you're not going to re-sign him next year.
The worst part is what's his name? Pace came out the week before the trade deadline and said, "Yeah, we're going to be aggressive."
Yeah, and then do nothing.
Yeah,
and then do nothing. Yeah.
Well, that's typical from that front office. It's just a bad front office.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
What are we doing? I mean, I guess we'll talk about it later. But I gotta take 0 out, so.
Okay. Well, I think we'll talk to Bryce after, but I think well, basically for everybody watching both of our streams, do this Wednesdays before the week kicks off, and we will reconcile these picks next Wednesday to see how we did, and then do picks for week 10 and maybe make it interesting and put some sort of wager or something on it.
What we do, right, is like, so you buy Madden, and then the games that we are just like stumped, right, like those 50-50, like,
okay,
it could go anyway, like we play each other. and then whatever team wins, that's the team we pick.
You know what we should do is do a 4th column and do the Madden picks and simulate all the
Sim
games that
games.
week, see what Madden says is going to happen, and see if Madden is smarter than us.
Yeah, 100% we should do that.
We'll do that for week 10. You should simulate all the games for week 10. Actually, I mean, you could do it this week too, but
Yeah, we'll do it for week 10.
is
'Cause
Madden
then I can figure out how to do it.
Is Madden still on sale?